6:14 on this Tuesday morning. Candidates in crucial primary races are stepping up to engage with voters ahead of next month's general primary election. Our very own Monica Pearson took the stage at the Ivy Community Center in Southwest Atlanta to moderate an event featuring contenders for Secretary of State and other races. The gathering allowed candidates from both parties to connect with the audience and share their vision for leadership. Key topics on the table included election integrity and the pressing issues surrounding the Fulton County Jail.
They're all qualified. They're all qualified. It comes down to a matter of where your gut feeling for a particular candidate. And if you may have known them a long time, for a number of years, and you know their personality and their sincerity.
The community center behind the groups, behind the debate and forum, anticipate hosting another one in October ahead of the general election.
One of the candidates hoping to become Georgia's next governor heard voters' concerns about data centers. Democrat Jason Estevez held an event at Rainbow Park Baptist Church in Decatur. One by one, potential voters walked up to the microphone, some of them highly criticizing the massive data centers that require massive amounts of land, water, and other natural resources in order to operate.
A 100 megawatt facility can consume as much electricity as 350,000 to 400,000 electric vehicles a day.